So I'm working on this little Amstrad PC-MM mono CGA monitor, and it's currently live right now. It's plugged in, it's live, there's live voltages all over the place, and I've been slowly testing the voltages. So essentially, let's have a look. There is 11 volts here. Let me just get this in. So this capacitor C522 just here. Okay, C522 has 11.86 volts on it. C522, so I can zoom in, there we go. C522 is there. And then you've got on this side L502, which is an inductor by the looks of it. And that is, so there's C522 there. That's where the inductor is. Now, I replaced this capacitor here, but I've just noticed there's another pad on the other side. So I'm wondering whether the entire whole thing has been that the original solder bridged the gap between those two joints there. When I cleaned this up, I just basically sucked all the solder up and cleaned it up and put it in. So I am going to put on a blob of solder between those two, because L502 goes there, that goes to there, and then that goes across there. So the 11 volts goes across and it goes up and in. It goes up there and it goes across and sort of C436, and that goes off and starts powering the rest of the monitor. So I'm just wondering whether Amstrad, in their infinite wisdom, separated those two pads and then just joined them via solder. That's very odd. It is very odd. So yeah, I'm just going to put a blob of solder across and see whether the monitor starts up. Okay, so I've just put a blob of solder across those pads there, which basically joins that C552 with that inductor, which is, if I just bring the C552 and the inductor there, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So let's zoom back out. That's the that's showing me how many watts. Let's power it on. I can't hear high voltage. Well, the monitor's up and running, but I seem to have lost all horizontal and vertical from the signal coming out of the PC. I don't know what's going on. I've tried adjusting the horizontal hold and the vertical hold. Not making a difference, so I've got to try and work my way through that board again. But at least the power's there now. At least it's running. So I finally got this monitor up and running. When I actually got it up and running, there were faults on the horizontal and vertical, and I actually went through the connection. This is the cable that actually comes from the PC with the video connection, and you've got those resistors there, and I basically went through all of that lot. I found a very fine bridge between the sink and the ground. It was so tiny, so what I did, I basically just sucked all the solder out, cleaned it all up, and then just reflowed fresh solder, and boom, we have a picture. So this Amstrad has really tested me. I've spent weeks trying to get the damn thing up and running. So it was the bridging solder between the two traces, which on that positive on the cap, and when I sucked it all out, it basically disconnected it, and then there was no 12 volts B plus for the entire monitor, but it would power the base unit. And then it was the solder on the video connections. This monitor worked before I even touched the actual capacitors. So yeah, this has been fun. So what am I going to do next? I am probably going to take some of the components out of the PC1512 and put them into this, because this has got the mono CGA, which is far more useful to me. And then I'm going to find an EGA monitor for the 1640. This has only got 512k of RAM, but I can upgrade this to 640k. So, what an absolute ball ache it was. It really was really difficult. So, and again, it was just, let's see what I can zoom in, it was just bridging solder joints on the resistors there for it to lose sync. And yeah, oh, what a pain, what an absolute pain. Wow. Right, let's get this thing apart and rebuild it. Okay, so here's the two Amstrads. This is the 1640 with the PCMD, which is a monochrome Hercules monitor. This is the 1512. I do have the keyboard, but it's up in the loft at the moment. And that has the mono CGA. Now, I have tried swapping the two cables for the video signal from the base units around and seeing which whether they work. And the reason being is that this has a round connector, a DIN plug for its video. This has the standard DB9 connection. Electrically, they're different. So I could fiddle around and get it working, but the plan is I've already actually put a hard drive in here, a 720k floppy drive, and got the thing up and running, as you can see, into DOS. And it's got a DOS 622 with a physical hard drive and an XT IDE with a SD card on the side. So the XT IDE card has got a IDE connection as well as the SD card. And that works absolutely fine. But it's in Hercules, and I can't do much in Hercules. There's not much software. Whereas this has the mono CGA. It's only got the 512k of RAM at the moment, but I can upgrade it. And I can then basically swap this slot with this slot and get the mono CGA and be able to actually play some computer games and do a damn sight more than that Hercules. The plan is that I will get an EGA monitor for this, and then I'll then do this again. I'll basically put fresh hardware in here and turn this into an all singing all dancing PC1640. So the plan is to actually get both of these up and running really well. So as part of my collection, I literally have the 1512 and the 1640. The 1512 I will upgrade to 640k. It's really easy to do, so there'll be no memory issues. So we finally got the monitor working there. This has got some purity issues. Well, purity, it's basically geometry issues on this, but it actually does run. CD games. I've got very few games which run on it. I think PX3 that will actually run. CD PX3, so Planet X3, X3. So it's 7 Hercules, PC speaker, and off we go. So we do have some basic stuff here, but CGA is way better than Hercules in terms of its compatibility of software, so I'd rather swap this lot, hard drive, and it's a physical hard drive behind there, 3.5 inch, and the 720k floppy, which I think came from an Amiga or an Atari, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, external Atari drive, so, and it's an original 720k into here. So let's do that, and let's try and get this up and running as a full-on machine, and then I will then refurbish this one later on. So I've got the PC1640 and the 1512 open. In the 1640, as you can see, I've got a separate hard drive here, which runs to the XT-IDE Deluxe. It's got a CF card on the side, so it can run both the hard drive down here. That's the 720K drive. This has just got the standard twin disc setup, and it's also still got its shield. So I might take the shield off before I do everything else, and then rebuild it. So, okay, I'm just going to take these out, and then I'm going to take the shielding off. I've taken all of the shielding off. We just don't need it in this day and age. Basically, I'll just give it a quick clean up. All of the tin is down there. It's rusting and it's rotten. So, yeah, everything seems good. I do see a little bit of corrosion from the battery sitting on top of that, but I can cure that. So that's where the hang on, where is it? That's where the memory goes on here. You've got a 512 and 640 on there, which looks like somebody's actually set it to 640k. So I don't know whether I could actually pinch the memory from the other machine and put it in here. I'm not sure. We'll have a look. But yeah, there's a little bit of corrosion. I will sort that out. And yeah, I can smell it, and that's from the battery. So yeah, so I'm not going to do a recap of this or anything like that. I'm not interested in doing that right now. So yeah, the board looks good. I'll get an 8087 processor. The 640 is a better machine. It's got an extra slot which goes here, I believe, and also it's got a different BIOS as well, which has got a slightly better. Actually, those are the BIOS there. So, okay, let's get the rest of this machine over here dismantled, and then we're going to put that lot into here. So I've got the hard drive and I've got the floppy drive connected. It's booted up okay. So yeah, but when I do a DIR, if you watch the screen, it absolutely jitters. It's jittering all over the place. So CD games, DIR, every time it accesses the hard drive or pulls any current through the power supply, it is rubbish. So actually CD utils DIR, there we go. Let's do check CD check it, CHECKIT. So you can see it's vibrating as it's actually accessing hard drives and stuff like that. So yep, everything all seems to check out there. But if I do a hard drive, it's vibrating. There we go. And it's quite noticeable in person. In the camera seems to be accounting for it. So let's try and do the CF card, which is just there. Can you see it rippling? Yeah, it gets really quite bad. So yeah. Let's wait for that to finish. Yeah, so yeah, it's really odd. So even if I'm moving menus, the whole screen just ripples, which I think is a current problem in terms of there's not enough current to drive the monitor. Exit. DIRW. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but we do have access to everything here. If I do an A drive, You can actually see that sort of enclosed in. So if I do DIR, so it's very subtle, but it's yeah. So yeah, so we got that part done. I'm just literally sorting out the face plate on here. The hard drive here doesn't fit inside that gap, so I'm just filing down the edges of the edges there. It's quite late, so I'm gonna head up to bed and then come down to this in the morning. The other one here, which is the 1640, I will put the drives back in there temporarily, and then I'm going to do exactly the same here. Put a hard drive in and a floppy drive into this, and I'm going to find an EGA monitor and ditch that Hercules. With the 1640, you have dip switches right at the back here, which allows you to switch between various video modes. So, okay, right. I'm going to head up to bed, and for you it'll be like seconds, but for me it's going to be about 8 hours, as it's very, very late, and I'm sort of tired and had enough, and I don't want to make mistakes. So I'm going to power this lot off and head up. So finally got the monitor working well. So when you do a DIR, there we go, DIR, there's no shaking. I've reduced the voltage to B+ on the monitor, and also increased the cutoff on the screen voltage on it, and it's all settled down, and it's actually very good indeed. So if I do a check disk, yeah, it's nice and solid, no shaking whatsoever. So yeah, it's all back together again. I'll get the PC1512 keyboard down from the loft and swap this out and put that onto that one. So yeah, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I will class this up as a win, and we've even got some games. Let's have a look. DIR. Oh yeah, let's do Prince. Prince. And I'll just turn up the volume. Oh, it's a bit loud. So, mono CGA goodness on a PC1512. Memory will be updated later on and upgraded. Not a problem. So yeah, so this one's nearly ready to go. Having to think about it. Yeah, the camera just dropped out then. Fantastic. So yeah, so we got this all running quite nicely. Actually there is still a little bit of a shake. See it? Just a tiny bit of a shake. I might actually dive back in the monitor and reduce the B+ voltage a little bit more as well. I'll take it from there. But anyway, right. Thanks for watching on this dual Amstrad PC1640 and 1512 goodness. Started out with one and ended up with two, and now I've got this one fully working, and just need this one to be upgraded, add a hard drive and so forth. I do have let's get it. I have one of these CF lights. I've just got to solder up and sort out, so that will probably go into that one, and then find a 3.5 inch floppy, or I might even keep the 5 1/4, I don't know, and take it from there. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.